Okay, now hello everybody and welcome back. I'm Angie O'Neill and we're going to continue with the bit of exploration that I was doing yesterday. The goal here is to figure out. Let's see. Let's brighten up this. The color temperature isn't right, but that's okay. As the day goes on, the color temperature will get better. I look kind of blue, but I'm not blue. I promise. Well, I am feeling a little blue if I'm being completely honest. Okay, we got 40 minutes, so I'm just going to dig right in. First of all, let's have a quick word from our not a sponsor, Mr. Mountain Dew. By the way, it is the sugared Mountain Dew that lasted the longest in the let's sit it outside and see what happens test. The Fresca eventually expanded. The diet went missing. The plain diet never froze. Maybe it just didn't get cold enough. I think last night was a bit colder, and I pulled it in before last night. But through last night, the regular Mountain Dew froze, but did not expand. So the Mountain Dew Zero did the worst. The sugared and plain diet Mountain Dew did the best. Okay, with that unimportant nonsense out of the way, let me turn down the heaters here. There we go. Okay, now all three heaters are from high to medium. It's hard to get all three of them at the same time. Anyway, and do we need some music? Let's go ahead and put on some music too. My bad. All right, sorry, I'm just messing up everything here. We were at 207, so let me just see if we can continue from there. Okay, cool. It's going to continue. It's natural mountain antifreeze. Yes, that's right. You're next. Mountain antifreeze. I had not considered this. Okay, so the problem is that... So I actually came up with something that's a lot simpler than what I had yesterday. You can see this here on the screen. This is my latest and greatest. I need to try this in Vite to make sure that Vite doesn't break it. And what I mean by Vite break it is that these bundler systems will do things like proxy the global object so that when your module gets it, it only gets access to certain things. And some of them are more up to date than others, and yada, yada, yada. So hopefully if they are handling global this, they're handling it correctly. If they're not handling global this, then it should just work. So I do need to test this in Vite, but more importantly, I need to figure out if this works in the TypeScript checker. So we need to run npx jwst, that's JavaScript with types, JSWT, JavaScript with types, init. And then this should give us a bunch of stuff. I'm actually immediately going to get rid of the JS doc because it turns out that doesn't really do anything like I had hoped and thought that it would, so I need to remove that. So we'll just get rid of JS doc here. Maybe in the future we'll figure this out again. Really what I need is I need an alternative to TSC. I talk about this all the time. I want to do that with TSC, whoops. Oh wait, hold on, are we on the right? Why am I getting channel promo crap? Are we on the right channel today? We are on the Beyond Code channel, it tells me. Unincome, you are welcome to the block list. Okay, so we need to have an alternative to TSC that is built for perhaps GPT script rather than JavaScript because JavaScript is too large. GPT script is the language that I'm working on that runs in web browsers, but it's a very small language, and it's I think the tagline for it is going to be the least expressive language. So it's going to be the smallest language that's ever been designed in terms of functionality that's available to the programmer. Well, not the smallest ever because there's white space and whatnot, but in terms of all modern languages, it's taking the subset of, if you look at Zig, you look at Go, you look at JavaScript, you look at Rust. If you just take the subset of look at the things that those languages don't provide, not the things that they do provide, but the things that they don't provide, and then make sure that your language excludes all of those things. Hey, what's up, Wucha? That's what I'm working on with GPT script, is creating a language that has the minimal subset of what modern languages provide, and particularly excluding just about everything that any of them excludes. Because if any of them exclude it, then you don't need it. And you probably have better code without it. Anyway, so we have our little bump here. We have fumped. We have lent. Lent is the one that we're most interested in, I think. And so I need to run, probably need to run npm install just to be sure. And now let's look at our dash phrase here. And what we want to figure out is, okay, it has its type or the type cannot be determined. Okay, so TSC does not like this pattern. This is the pattern that we left with last time. So TSC hates it. Really doesn't like it. So what we need to figure out is there a pattern that TSC will like? And so it obviously doesn't like this pattern. I don't like this because this is so verbose for boilerplate junk. So let's try this way. This is what I'm really hopeful to see. I'm hoping that TSC will see type of modules and that it's got exports, and then it will just say, yeah, exports, that's great. And then down here, I think what we need to do is I think we need to have global.window and global this. Okay, now let's see. Oh, miracle of miracles. Hold on. Did that work? I think this is it. I think this is our magic snippet. So I wasn't at the computer when I constructed that. Let's see. So it's not complaining about window.crypto not existing. And the big question will be if we define a type here. So if we do type of no, let's see, type foo at property, well, at prop boolean works, cannot find name foo. Oh, type def, sorry, not type of, not type def. Okay, so here's the test. Can you just search my website project? Okay, wait, tell me what it is again, awesome guy. I think you mentioned this the other day, and I think I said I'd take a look at it, and I think I forgot. Okay. Wait, what do you mean reduce does not work on array-like number? Oh. Yeah, okay, that's... I see. It's actually correct. It's telling me the right thing. So this actually should be UNT8 array. Does that fix it? Oh, that's right. Interesting. So this is good. TSC is functioning. All right. But here, of course, is the problem. Dang it. So if we go this route, we lose the ability to have implicit export types. So that means that I would have to do the type def for the whole thing, which is not the end of the world. Okay, yeah. I want to keep this as simple as possible, so if we get one line outside the iffy, that would be great. see, dash phrase. Nope, that won't work. So the problem is this. If you define an export, let me get out of here for a second. So if you define an export, yep, that's the problem. Typically you get the implicit definition, but because this is inside of an IFI, we don't get the implicit definition. And if I move it inside of here, we'll get the implicit definitions, or we should. Let's see what's complaining about me now. Let me see. Okay, so we're not getting the implicit definition either way. Okay, so let's just move this back up then. All right, so the trade-off that we're making is that then we have to define everything. We have to define this thing as a type. And then we have to define everything on it individually, which that's kind of annoying. I'm trying to think if there's any better way to go about this. In this case, we may not need the IFI. That's the other thing. You only need the IFI if you're declaring loose variables. If we're not declaring any loose variables, then we don't need an IFI. So we could just make it say, okay, well, here's the thing. If you're going to use this style, you can't declare loose variables. Let's see. We could do... Can't redeclare window, but we kind of can. I gotta think about that. All right, let me go check comments here. You have to update the package no matter that everything works as it should. So I think that's a really good idea if you want your package to be trending, because you have to update a package. This is the problem, is that packages that work correctly are dead. They're dead packages. So NPM is not going to favor you with additional search engine optimization for a package that is complete and working and perfectly functional the way that it should be. So if you want to be rewarded, you need to write crappy code that is incomplete and doesn't work and has lots of bugs, so that it's constantly changing, so that it constantly gets its maintenance score boosted. Because a project that is complete has no maintenance, because you wrote the code fulfills the spec, this code doesn't have bugs, the code is complete. So if you want your package to become more popular, you need to have as many bugs as possible, so that there's lots of activity on GitHub and there's lots of activity on NPM. So yeah, if you just bumping the version for no reason, if your package actually works, yes, you need to do that. Crappy code, I can do that. That's great. Okay. Bot deleting my text. Lol. Give me a mod for a minute. I don't know exactly what that means, but just put it in the Discord. Just plop it in the Discord there. All right, I missed your question. Wait, okay, now I got back to your question. All right. Okay, I think I'm up to date on the chat now. Okay, so that's me. The question is, how do we get this to work? And I think the answer is that I have to type def all the things. Any of the type defs have to be outside of the IFI. Okay, but let me check this out. So we got another problem, which is we got blah.js. Var goo equals 7 or 8, because I accidentally typed 8. And then at type foo. This should not work. Goo is defined but never used. Console.log goo. Yes! Okay, good. Good. Okay, so the good thing that happened here is that we did trigger the TSC to not go into global browser mode. That's the good news. So we correctly triggered TSC to be in node mode, not browser mode, because the problem that I mentioned earlier is if you have both window and module.exports referenced in your file, then TSC, depending on the ordering of where one is or how it's accessed, TSC will go into browser mode, and then all of the types will become global exports, and then other stuff doesn't work. So this is actually really good, because this means now we can do dash phrase. This will prove that it worked correctly. So if we do dash phrase.foo, then this should work, and we get the type error. Numbers not assignable to foo. This is excellent. Or goo, rather. And then we can have boo. So we should be able to see both types of error. All right, so this is good. So we have almost everything that we want. The trifecta, the icing on the cake, which I don't know if it's possible to have or not, but the icing on the cake in this case would be that somehow we get the ability to do all of these definitions outside of the IFI. And we could do that in this case, but we can't in the general case. So in this case, if we were to do, for example, var crypto equals window.crypto, we could get rid of this entirely. We could just put the use strict up at the top, which actually that doesn't work, so we can't actually do that. Let's see. But okay, so but let's say in theory we can do this. Well we can't in theory because I know that it won't work. So, but okay, we could do something like this. Okay. So this would be an empty shell of an object here. All right, so I think the problem is that it's evaluating, wait, this could be an empty object. So if I get rid of this, then I think all of these things will go away. No, they don't. Okay. So I just want to play around with this a bit and see if I can get that stuff to go away. Let me go ahead and save this back where it was best. So as far as I know, this is the best thing I've got going for me, is this. But let's see if we can get rid of this, get rid of this. Let's just see what condition will cause this to go away so that we don't have to have all the type definitions completely separate from the types themselves. Although maybe we should have the type definitions completely separate from the type, from the instantiation. Okay, I'm checking Beyond Code Discord. Is there anything in the general channel, live streams channel? Awesome guy, if you want to put the link in there, you can. Or you can put it with spaces in the chat. Okay, I have old projects that are working great, but they use older versions of packages. I'm not sure if it is necessary for everything to be on the latest version. So for that, you use socket.dev. Use socket.dev and get it to track your packages, if they're JavaScript packages anyway. There's a couple of reasons you want things to be on the latest version, which, depending on how much usage your project has, may or may not apply to you. One of the reasons you want things to be on the latest version is, like I said, it just gives you an excuse to bump your package. And anytime you bump your package gets better SEO, right? And so the more dependencies you use and the crappier the dependencies you use are, it's such a perverse incentive, because literally the worst code will rise to the top. The things that are the most buggy, that have the most dependencies, that are the most interdependent, those are the things that will rise to the top, because the algorithms reward code that changes all the time. So the more your code is changing, the more you get rewarded. Okay, but you're actually, this is not what you're talking about. There may be security updates in the older versions of packages, and that's why you would want to update. If you, so that's, but I would say, people say, AJ, not everybody can be a super senior engineer. And that's true, but that's how you get to be a super senior engineer, is you look through code and then you rewrite the sections that you need and say, hey, I don't need this package that has 10 other packages, each of which have 10 other packages. I actually just need this one function that relies on this one other function from this other package. And if I just have those two functions, then that's all I need. Then you just copy it. And if necessary, if it's a larger function or if it has some sort of proprietary, and I don't mean that in the sense of proprietary versus open source, but proprietary versus common knowledge. If it has some sort of proprietary aspect to it, then you put a little comment and stating, this function is licensed with this license that came from this project or something like that. You could put it in a separate file if you want to. Yeah, but certainly not necessary for everything to be on the latest version, but it's good to have everything on the latest version if the reason that it's updating is because there are minor mistakes, minor security vulnerabilities, or major security vulnerabilities. Hopefully packages don't have major security vulnerabilities. They're getting fixed. I just need to hire a senior engineer to do all my work for me so I can use their work as my own and pay them a portion of my salary. The problem is that they would be taking a 10% cut. What needs to happen instead is your employer needs to fire you and then pay a senior engineer 10% more to do your job 3 to 4 times as effectively. But the good news is that the people that hired you have no idea what they're looking for in a candidate, and they don't know that hiring a senior engineer, it only costs 10% more than what it costs to hire you. So you are safe. Keep doing what you're doing. Use this opportunity to learn and become that senior engineer you always dreamed yourself to be. Yeah, job inflation has gotten so bad that it's crazy. It's crazy. It's crazy what I am now getting paid. I did not think it was possible to be able to net that, but due to inflation, just general inflation of the government spending and that sort of thing, and due to job market inflation, and then housing prices inflation, so cost of living inflation, there's just so many types of inflation that are going on right now that the number that I make is only worth about half as much as what it used to be, and I think that that's pretty accurate. I think that the number that I make is about half as much as what it would have been worth, say, 10 years ago. But the dollar number is it's just obscene to me. But it's not that much, considering, because in the last 2 years, so much has changed. So much has changed. And the dollar just doesn't go very far anymore at all. I think that the dollar has lost about 50% of its value. That is my reckoning. I think that, when they say, oh, general inflation, this, that, or the other, I also live in an area that's experienced a local inflation because I live in a tech hub. And so the tech hubs experience inflation greater than and before other areas in terms of cost of living inflation. So right now, I think this is actually true across the United States. It's $8 for eggs. Okay? A package of eggs is $8, which that is insane. So for reference, 2 years ago, a package of eggs was like $1.29 at 79 cents the year before, maybe. I mean, eggs are dirt cheap and were, and now they've become expensive. the house that we live in has nearly doubled in price in the last 2 years. So there's just a lot of weird market stuff. And we bought it at the height of it doubling in price. So we got it at the sweet spot. Most money made. Ugh. Oh, sorry. You already said when it cost $9 for eggs. I don't know when that was said, but saying that. But yeah, I think you were just agreeing with the general. My money is worth half as much as it was when it cost $9 for eggs. Is that right? Okay. Anyway, going along. I've only got maybe 10 more minutes here. I don't know what to do with this scenario. What I want to try is just see. Okay, what if we say we've got dash phrase, and then if this happens, then dash phrase equals module.exports. What if we just did this and we didn't do anything else? Yeah, you said it before me, so I didn't see it first. Yeah, so maybe it's $9 today. My wife told me, she told me last week it was $7 to get eggs. And then she told me a couple days ago it was $8 to get eggs. So maybe I'll say, hey, honey, why don't you go get some eggs today? So, yeah. It's so... we live in clown world, man. We live in clown world. Okay, so what if I did this? This is going to be really weird. Okay, this is a hack and a half right here. Do you see the hack? Do you see the hack? This right here is one clown world hack. But it satisfies TSC. Okay, so TSC is now happy if I do this clown world crap right here. What if I get rid of the module and just do exports? Interesting. So let me try this again. Module. Interesting. Wow. This is something else. Now, this could change with the next version of TSC. Now let's see if this will work. So now I'm going to take the whole thing and I'm going to put it in an iffy. And let's see what happens. It's still working. Interesting. Okay. All right, so now let's try this. All right. Missing use strict, sure. What's this complaining about? All right, it's just complaining about the type system there. Okay. So now what I need to do is see, I'll just go up here. Can I do dash phrase equals require dash phrase? Can I console.log dash phrase.sep? Interesting. Let me make sure that this is correct. Main dash phrase. Okay, so let's try this. I think that this little hacky-do is just not going to work. So this is interesting because it doesn't give an error inside of the file. No, our jumbo is $8. Our 18 pack is the $8. Or maybe I'm wrong. Maybe she was saying it was $8 for the regular pack. Idiots around the world, mob mentality. Could not agree more. Okay, so, alright, this did not work the way that I wanted it to work, but I'm just trying to understand at this point. So what if I get rid of these? Now, if I open up this... Okay, now it's okay with it. Alright, so let's see what else then. So it doesn't... With iffy... Okay, undefined... So... Let me just comment this out for a second. We're going to try this again. I want to see if it still works. This is not a good way to do things. I mean, it is because we are empirically exploring the behavior of TSC. But it's not a good way of doing things from the perspective that... this type of behavior is probably not the documented behavior, it's probably the incidental behavior. And so it's probably not good behavior to rely on, that's what I mean. Okay, this still works. But this one doesn't. This is so strange. This is so strange that the difference between accessing it this way or that way causes it to have an error. All right, but let's take a look at this as well. Okay. Alright, so what I'm going to have to do... in order for this to work... Alright, so let me just try this. Type def... And it's time for me to go. But I'm just going to try this. Type def dash phrase at prop. There's no way I'm going to be able to do this. So I could say string sep. Okay, why is it complaining? Oh, this would be regexp, sorry. This is gonna get it confused, I bet. Okay, so this will work as a shim. This will work. No, it won't. The letter L. So here it recognizes... Okay, so the problem is that the exports aren't being typed. So let's go back to the other one real quick. Okay, we'll go back to this one. Okay, so here that still works. Does it work over here where it's used? Okay, and this works where it's used. Okay, so this is not ideal. Let me try one other thing actually. So what if we change this to be and module.exports? Does that give us the same benefit? Okay, that works. Now this works as well. Okay, so this actually looks better. Alright, but does it work over here? No, it doesn't. Okay, so if we want TSC to understand precisely what type this is the syntax we have to use. If we don't care about TSC understanding precisely what the type is, then we can use this syntax. So we have two options. We have TSC compatible and TSC not compatible. I've got to go, but I'm going to think on this and see if I can come up with some other way to do it. I'm fairly certain that this syntax is required. The next question is, can I put it at the bottom of the file so that it's part of the, can I, well, first I should see, will this still work if it's in an IFI? That's the next thing that we need to know. So I'm going to try to do this before I hop on my call. I've got 60 seconds here. Okay. So this still works. That one does. That still works. With this way of doing it. Alright, does it still work if we don't explicitly type it? Okay, so now this is still working with implicit typing. No, but this does not work with implicit typing. Okay, so let's go back over here and do the explicit typing. And then let's go back over here and see, whoops, not that one. Okay, now this is not working anymore at all. Okay, so I'm confused. Oh, it's because it's in the IFI. So if we take it out of the IFI, then it works. Okay, so bottom line, we're screwed. There's no simple way to do it. That's the bottom line. The bottom line is that bundlers have become so convoluted and type checking tools have become so convoluted that they can no longer understand simple JavaScript. It's just done. All right, I'm out, y'all. Thanks for joining in. If somebody else is on, let's see, what do we got? Sorry, no raid. Go find someone you love to be with. AJ out. Adios.